Hey, how you doing tonight, this evening? This is the Black Kingdom DMV podcast. We are coming to you from the Maryland, near DC area. This podcast is gonna be talking about the first episode filming of about things you like to do about modern dating, discussions or traveling, and even what grinds your gears. Um, you know, been living here for about good 30 plus years, and do my travelings when I get a chance. But I have a special guest, AJ, guy who a fellow traveler with me to a few places. He's traveled a little longer than I have, you know, but AJ, give a little a background about yourself.
Okay. Yeah. I'm originally from the DMV area also. Um, I met my fellow friend Carlton here through work over the few years. We met, I should probably say about 7 years ago or so. And, we always have intellectual conversations about modern dating. And over the last 3 or 4 years, we actually, started traveling together and stuff. And, we took a new approach and a different perspective of life altogether when we started traveling. And yeah, we're going to be here today. We're going to talk about these approaches and these and the things that we encounter while we travel, and also the things that we encounter here in the DMV area. So yeah, it's a little bit.
Yeah. So where'd you grow up at in the DMV area?
Okay, so yeah, I grew up in PG County area, so it's not far from Washington D.C. and Northern Virginia, so it's like a middle ground area. Um, a lot of people are familiar of the area because of famous athletes, um, that are currently in NBA and NFL. One being Kevin Durant.
That's cool. Yeah, I went to Frederick Douglass, and
Okay.
also I knew Sean Merriman. I was ninth
Mm.
grade, 11th grade. Seeing him in high school. Douglass. So, and then went to Gwent Park. Seeing the guy who played for New England,
Yeah.
Courtney. He was a cornerback for him. Went to school with
Okay.
him. We graduated the same year. I was born in North Philly, but I was raised in the Maryland area,
Right.
um,
Right. Right.
PG County. So
Okay.
but
Okay.
let's say how's your family structure? People might want to
So
know.
I grew up, single mom. My stepdad was always in the picture uh, for majority of my life. Um, and then I have three other siblings. One. I have one brother and two sisters. So we all lived under the same household, and things were pretty cool. I didn't grow up in the best neighborhood, but I was very fortunate to go to good schools and to be able to travel and stuff. So yeah, I think I had a pretty good life.
That's cool. I mean, I grew up around people who's out out in those certain areas and the hood areas a little bit. Had like a different background than me, but we all got along and
Right.
pretty much. To be honest with you, I grew up here majority of my life, and yeah, family from my dad's side. I was adopted, but my dad's side, who real people raised me.
Right.
Living down south, like the dirty south of Louisiana and parts of Texas. My mom's side, they from Baltimore and stuff like
Mm.
that. So I used to travel out there,
Right.
but yeah, but it's cool. Good. Good background. Both my parents in my life. Some people not fortunate for that, but I was very fortunate. So but
Okay.
let's say, what did you do with traveling? Why did you decide to start traveling? So in the last 3 or 4 years.
So I started traveling. Well, I was excited. I really wanted to see other parts of the world. As a kid growing up, I just always wondered, what it was like growing up in another country, or what did things look like in another country? How did it differ from, where I'm from? You know, the kids my age growing up, were they able to like go outside and play, ride their bikes, you know, play games and stuff? Were they doing the same thing? It was always on my mind. I was always curious to know what other people were doing in other countries. For me, it started at a younger age. I'd probably say around like 6, 7. I was always curious, so that kind of like inspired me, or that kind of always put me on the edge of my seat to know, you know, what was going on.
That's
But as I
good.
got older, oh, I'm sorry.
No, you good, man. That's cool.
Okay. Yeah. Now I was gonna say, as I got older, you know, things kind of, you know, I was able to put things into effect because, you know, I started working. I was able to have a little bit of cash that, you know, I could put away to the side, say, hey, okay, this is for a trip. So, you know, I started doing those things, and I was like, okay, let me start putting this into effect. You know, I said I wanted to start traveling when I was young. Let me start doing it.
Yeah, for me, I'll be honest with you, I been wanting to travel ever since being in my early 20s, but I really got more interested. I guess when I saw the movies, you know, like certain documentaries, and you know, older brothers, older than, you know, me, that's like part of Generation X, and you know, guys 40, 50 years old now, but they, you know, was traveling and talking about it over the years. And plus, when I got in my late 20s, I really was, you know, determined to try to do that, you know. And I saw the movie Fast and Furious 5, you know, when it was
Yeah.
in Brazil, that really kind of like sparked my interest more than anything. And you know,
Okay.
culture, the beautiful women, the femininity, you know, very humble. Don't, you know, assume that they, you know, how good they look. They think they're better, you know, than who you are and stuff. But it was just a different, you know, concept or aspect of, you know, life when I started seeing, you know, more videos on, you know, traveling. So,
Right.
but
I get
you know,
that. Yeah.
also, yeah. But also, how was your first experience traveling to different countries? You know, did you travel with your family, or did you, like, you know, travel by yourself?
Um, well, my first time seeing like a different part of the states. Well, it's considered the states. Puerto Rico is considered the states, but you know, it was a little different for me because I wasn't used to, like, you know, seeing all like the tropical, the palm trees, the beaches, you know, things of that nature. So that was actually my first trip. I went to Puerto Rico with my family, and that was just the beginning. You know, that opened my eyes to a lot of things. um yeah, so and we had a blast, we had a great time. So yeah, that was my first time traveling. But international trip, my first trip was to Brazil, actually, to Salvador Bahia, Brazil. I went on a study abroad trip. That was my first international trip, and I was actually there for a whole entire month.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I know we, you know, I know you have been traveling a little longer than me, and then we did our first trip back in 2021 of
Yeah.
August, and
Yep, the Cartagena.
Cartagena, and that was good in Colombia, and that was real cool. You know what I'm saying? We got a chance to see the culture, the food, you know, the very gorgeous women, the
Hmm.
society, how they run, how they do things, and
Yep.
you know, different, you know, cultural landscapes and everything. It was just, you know, real down to earth, cool, you know, cool trip. You know what I'm saying? You just
Yeah.
gotta know how to move out there when you do it. So,
Right.
what was the best food that you had traveling?
Um, I probably say probably in Bahia, Brazil. They had a lot of it seemed like it was a lot of Caribbean based food. There's a lot of Afro Brazilians there, so a lot of their food is kind of like based around like African cuisines. Um, so yeah, I had a lot of good food there. I think it was this one like grilled chicken platter with like white rice and beans and salad, and the seasoning was on point. Everything was good.
That's cool. That's cool, man. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the best spot we that when I traveled with which it was the Brazil. I'll be honest with you. That food that we went to that restaurant, I think it was like maybe about third or fourth day. So I
Uh,
think it was fourth day. They really had a good, like a really good, like the filet mignon. That filet
okay.
mignon was really good.
Yeah, it was weird because it was an Italian spot out there in Rio. When we went to Rio, there was an Italian spot that had some really good food. I'm not sure if you was with me that day.
Yeah, I think I was though. I definitely remember. I think we might have met up later that day.
Well, I had some pasta. It was like a salmon pasta or something. I think Presidente was with me.
Yeah, Presidente, he was definitely with us and stuff.
Yeah.
But also actually, how was the hotel and the house?
In Rio or
I would say well, in either spot, where the best spot you thought the best place you traveled to?
I think in Cartagena was the best experience with like a hotel. I've never done like a villa when I've traveled, but I think Cartagena, the hotel, San Lazaro, they have a really nice hotel. It's to me in my eyes, it's almost similar to a 5-star hotel. They have good service. They change your sheets, take out the trash, give you fresh towels every day. Bed sheets are clean. So I've had my overall best experience with housing or hotel experience, you would say, in Cartagena,
Oh, that's
Colombia.
cool.
Yeah.
I would say Colombia had probably the best. Well, since I traveled last year, the best experience with their like I said, Hotel Lazaro, El Lazaro. That was probably the best. It was the best location. You could do different. You were not that far from the mall. You can go to the gym. That was right in the mall, and food places were around. And I mean, the motor coaches and the Ubers get to you easier, and then plus the walking distance in Colombia to the city part. So, and you can't beat that.
Yeah.
You can make memory with your homies and your homeboys and do your thing. So,
Yeah.
I was the nightlife, man. Are you a club guy, bar guy, or you just you go to parties at the house or so?
The nightlife is pretty cool. Everywhere that I've been so far, I think I'm not really a club guy. Never really been a club guy. I'm more of like a bar guy because I'm kind of I'm chill. I'm laid back. So as long as I have good music and as long as the music is good and the drinks are good, it's a great night to me. So, but overall, the nightlife, I think I would have to say in Cartagena, Colombia has probably been my overall favorite, I guess you could say.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'd agree with you, man. I like to say both, but Colombia definitely, got my heart on certain area parts. I mean, I'd love to be able to go to Medellin down the road and maybe even Barranquilla. And I know a homeboy named Grant Faguda. He was telling us about how he moved, how he do in Cali. Cali. His
shout
spot.
out 220. Shout out 220.
Yeah, shout out to homie. He's a definitely a international rapper in Latin America doing this thing. So but also I enjoyed Brazil. Because I knew some female associates through some people, so it was good to meet them and see them for the first time. I know it's been some years since we have been talking, and I finally got a chance to meet them and have a good time and enjoy myself out there. And in Brazil and Rio, with the beaches and just walking around, having drinks and having a good time.
Facts. Only thing I will say about Rio is everything is really spread out there in Rio, so it's kind of hard to like navigate what's going to be popping that night, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. You're definitely right, because if you don't know where you're going, man, it could be a difficult time.
Yeah, the best thing to do is get boots on ground information, or find somebody over there, or if you got friends over there, tell them to show you where you are. Because most of the hot spots, like for instance, we went to a club that was pretty lit. It was about an hour away from Copacabana Beach, and we wouldn't have found that unless we had a friend that was already over there. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
man.
But compared to like a place like Cartagena, Colombia, where everything is in one centralized location, you can pretty much walk to the next club or walk to the next party, and you can leave or you can go to the next spot if it's not what you're feeling.
No, I agree with you, man. You're right with that because
Yeah,
Colombia
yeah,
is definitely easier to get to like their clubs and bars and stuff more than Brazil. But I
yeah.
know Brazil's a large, vast country like the U.S. Probably a little bit larger, maybe about the same. But
Facts, facts.
it definitely was worth the trip. I'll tell you that.
Hmm.
Are you more with tourism, like museums and beaches, or culture, or are you just more for meeting the women if you can more?
No, I mean, I'll try. I'm not, I'm not a passport bro. I wouldn't consider myself a passport bro. But I do like to meet people when I travel. So whether if it's male or female, as long as I'm making those good connections, and there's a homie of mine we met back in it's a minute ago, man. 2014, I believe, in Brazil. That I still keep in touch with to this day. And we pretty cool. He invited me to come to Portugal. Actually, he moved to Portugal, so maybe one day I have an opportunity to go out there. But man or woman, I'm down. We cool. We can meet up. Have a good time, party and drink. But like I said, I'm not a passport bro. To make that clear, and I am with a lot of the tourist type of activities. I love museums. I love learning about the culture and the history and any artifacts that they have. Uh, Also, any art. Like I love art. I'm an art guy. Um, I love beaches. I love sunny weather, a nice beach with a drink in my hand. And yeah, so yeah, to answer your question, I do love tourism.
Yeah, I enjoy the tourism. Definitely half the time. When I'm over there, I went. I remember one time, like I went in 2022 by myself. I know you had like some prior engagements yourself in 2022, so you weren't able to travel with me.
Yeah,
And I know El Presidente had some situation going on too. So did my own thing. I traveled out there, met
right.
some other brothers out there from the area, the DMV area. They was
Yeah,
from I believe they was from what's that area, like Glen Burnie and
yeah, yeah.
Silver Spring area. So they were real cool. We hung out for the night and met, dancing with the different clubs, met some women, had a good time, and just chopped it up. And I
Yeah.
consider myself more like I respect the half the passport bro movement and the ideology behind it, but I'm more like a passport king or gentleman.
Okay,
Like
okay.
go out there, represent myself a certain way, certain accordingly to how I move and stuff. So I never had any issues when I traveled or done things out there. So or bring bad attention to myself. But I mean, just I guess because you had that background, that certain background, being raised a certain way. You know how to do some things where you're not going to do something to put yourself in that situation. And I ain't
Right.
trying to be Mr. Bling Bling and wearing. I mean, I wear nice clothes, but I ain't trying to be flashy and get myself caught
Yeah,
up. It's been some
yeah.
sad
That's
times for brothers, getting caught up down there at the wrong time, and mishaps.
Yeah, I'm glad you touched on that because a lot of people think that they can when they travel, they can dress how they dress here in the United States and they can, be blinged out and dress flashy. And that's not the case when you go to these places overseas, man. They see you, they see you coming, literally. You know what I'm saying? You wear the gold chain, the diamonds, the nice watch, you iced out. They're gonna take that from you, man. And they'll do anything it takes. So yeah, just be aware.
Yeah, that's good advice. That's good, man. I know you're younger than me or whatever, but you telling those guys and you're around your generation and mine too, you gotta use your common sense, use the street smarts, like you in the streets out here, the same way you out, do the streets out here, you gotta do it overseas.
Right.
You
But
got
10 times more though, because like I said, they putting food on their table.
yeah, I agree with you, man. You're right.
Yeah.
I got these two, I say like, grind my gear type questions for you here. I've been wanting to ask somebody. Uh, Let me ask you: is dating or relationships over the last 10 to 15 years, let's say 10 years for you, have changed fully with modern day female or females in today's society, or halfway changed, or not changed at all? How you feel about it?
I think it has changed drastically. I would say social media has a large impact on dating in today's society, but I would say um, overall that there's been higher expectations for men, young men in the United States. And when I say that, I'm saying that in terms of women expect young men to have it all put together at a young age, and they'll only mess with you or deal with you if you have your stuff together. Hey, you might find a few dimes out there that'll, they're they're down to get it through the mud with you, but it's hard to come across nowadays. I mean, my dating history, and from my past, I've encountered some women who, they'll grind it through the mud with me, but on the other hand, I've dealt with some women who haven't, and unfortunately, I couldn't work things out with those women that were down to get it through the mud with me, but things don't always work out in your favor. So that goes to say, I mean, things have changed a whole lot, but yeah, we got some time to go.
Yeah, I'm gonna touch base on that with this with that question with you. I'll be honest, I feel it has a halfway change. I know
Okay.
I had some debates with a few people who have childhood friends or certain associates or good friends of mine that I worked with back in the day and stuff, and even some guys, a couple guys a little older. I feel like I know they might feel a certain personal belief, with how dating is. Like, if you have game, if you have this, that, and the third, you have game all you want, but and at the end of the day, things evolve. After a while, it could be a minor changes over years, and then it turns to a major change. Major changes happen probably after maybe 20 years go by. But I feel like dating today is different. A lot of male and females put a certain type of ideology on there or mentality on there about things being what it is. Like, if you come with certain baggage, I can understand a female not want to date you or so, or vice versa.
Yeah.
But if you up here doing what you need to do, and the female you're dating or going on, you're trying to build with her, and she wants to come in on the middle to the end, it's not going to work. I mean, I know a lot of people, debate about, having, oh, if this guy doesn't, have these certain, requirements or
6 figures.
characteristics and stuff like that, starting off, sometimes people don't have it.
Yeah.
And then, we getting older, saying you got to think it's a process. Everything's a process. It doesn't just happen overnight. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you, the guy's not putting the work in. I can understand, the female feeling a certain way, but the guy's doing what he got to do. He got a job, his degree, education. He's, doing a side hustle or a business of his own. He's trying to, build himself up, build his character. A man's gonna build himself up if he were the right woman. If the woman can push him a little bit to where, he's feeling like, hey, she's the right woman and she's making me feel this certain way. I'm gonna put that work in and to make this work with me and her and build and be myself as a man.
Right.
At the end of the day,
Yeah, you're right. And I want to touch on this. I'm sorry to interrupt, but a lot of men will respect you more if you get it through the mud with them. You know what I mean? If you stay down from day one and not try to come in when he's up. You know what I'm saying? When he got the money, when he's when he's at the top, and she just comes in, like he wants a girl that is going to be there, a woman that's going to be there to support him all throughout his journey. So.
No, I agree with you, man. And just add a little more to it. Just the fact that I had some up and down. I mean, I had some women who I met when I was coming up in my 20s. That I ain't gonna lie, a few of them that I met that really, really kind of motivated more. And I wish it could have worked out, but it didn't. Sometimes it might have been distance, and sometimes it was just the fact that we grew apart a little bit, or it just didn't work out. Maybe because of the fact that she was at a different level at that time. But women who sometimes you meet or so who might financially be inconsistent, I'll say, or not incompetent, but inconsistent or financial situation of their own, and you having to try to build with them, it's challenging. And sometimes you having to do more. I'm not saying we're men, but it's a certain level to this, to be able to really have a good foundational structure of relationship. And I just know if the way society is going, if it's all about every time like who's the highest bidder for the treasure or the vagina or stuff like that, it's going to become an issue. Or what have you done for me lately? And being bad, bad bees, bougie, and think that she, that you have to cater off the break when you just starting out and you try to start, trying to have a lay out your groundwork, what you're trying to do, and it's going to be challenging. It's like you fighting an uphill battle, like I told my friend and my childhood friend. But at the end of the day, if you can find that right woman who like a diamond in the rough, and sometimes you might not find it in the local area. You might have to sometimes go somewhere else, different state, or for some guys, who are doing the travel, a different country. That's how life is sometimes. People they'll find something when they go somewhere else sometimes too. But it's all about how you grow as a person, I say.
Okay.
It's like the last question. Do you think men and women need to find new solutions or better common understanding to better communicate the actual beliefs or motives in this unpredictable society?
I'm sorry, can you repeat your question?
Yeah. Do you think men or women need to find a new solution or better common ground, it would say, to better communicate the actual beliefs or motives and in the relationships in society?
I don't think it comes down to either men or women. I think we have a lot of the outside factors, such as like social media, where attention is being relied on from women, and they're getting a unusual amount of this attention, where they're unable to bond in real life, because they think social media is real life. And for men, men have, um, you know, um, these unrealistic expectations of becoming, whoever they think they may become. But sometimes they have higher expectations of what actual life is, for them. So they think they should aim to the stars for when it comes to women, and I think women aim to the stars also. So I think both men and women need to just humble themselves. I guess that's the answer to it all, and find that person that they actually like and they want to spend the rest of their life with. And with that, I mean, no one, and people have to understand and realize that no one's perfect. So, there's going to be flaws in everyone. So, you know, so if you find a really good person, you should, try to stick it out with them, and do your best to, uh, work things out and see it through.
No, I respect that, man. I know, everybody has that, agrees or disagrees or, understand their point of views. That was
Right.
definitely good, what you're saying. I just feel like, with today's side, I feel like it can be both sides, but I feel like more of, like with the community that, us growing, I know a little older, like the community kind of like turned a blind eye on certain issues when it probably was minor, but now it's a major issue when it came
Right.
to like men and women dating, and like they want to put more of the blame out on the man. And I get that men, we supposed to have a foundation, we supposed to have this certain structure and stuff like that, but you don't want the man to be run down by the age of 40 trying to make it make the family right. And if the partner they pick isn't not the right person, like I told my friend, I mean, you got women are great actresses when it comes to dating. We can give an example for Will Smith. His wife was a good actress. You know why I say that? Because the fact of the matter that she played people to make it believable that she was somebody that she wasn't. And then also her true character came out showing that she was somebody totally different. I mean, I used to watch her movies back in the day. really, had a little, like I said, semi crush on her when I was younger. But then when you see how she treats, the man who she married to, and she's from I was thinking about she's from the DMV area, and how she really moves, it makes you wonder, makes dudes have to step back and realize you gotta be able to communicate a certain way or a different structure of when you're dealing with women in today's society, in the new modern day society of women and men. But it's really tough out here for a man to date because now you got other factors involved. But I don't want to say too much on, but you got to think about that. If you are, out here dating and this, this female that you really attract to, you're not going to, as a man, we love, unconditional. We love, unconditionally when we get with that right person. We're not going to just stop and because you don't do this, that we'll still love you. But it seems like society has gone more where with the new age modern day female is that they only live conditionally of what you do, and it's getting, it's kind of bad because you're teaching generations behind you that hey, a man, he will provide, he will do that. You only love him for what he does, but not every woman's like that, and I know every man's not like that. But it seems like it increased over the last 3 generations or so to get to this point. It took time. It was a process, and I wish that the community could have, how you say, like came together to like really came with better solutions instead of trying to use this old school solutions and that's it. You have to maybe like 60, 70, 60 something % old school and the rest of it, a little bit new just to, keep up with the modern times, what's going on. So everybody be on the same page and it won't be too much of an issue where, hey, if a guy, don't work out, the guy finds another woman, he can, build his, get his foundation going again good instead of, I know the government and you can say other parts of factors are involved, but it's just in the court system. But it's just that the fact that we start here as a man and woman, we should at least have better communication skills about what we want and what we do and don't, and we still have our understanding. It's 1,000 things that we could go over. If you break up off a few things, of a relationship. All you're doing is just basically what's the point of you doing a relationship if you can't even work through those type of minor things in life? And maybe down the road it'll get better, I think. And give it like maybe 10 more years, maybe some men and women will grow out of that I call it like a high school mindset and thinking like, they still back in their young years and realize they gotta be more mature and everybody work together and get a better, structure. Not just for us, but for the kids and your kids' kids, and the different generations are coming behind us. So this is my opinion.
Yeah, I agree, man. You're right.
But this is good session, good good conversation topic here, and this is basically gonna close it out. My boy AJ.
Yeah, thank you for having me, man.
It's always good, man. Always good having you, man. Always good talking stuff with you. Talking stuff out with you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, man. Thank you. I appreciate it again, man. Take care.
Oh, you too, man.
All right.
And that's what end the show for tonight. The Black Kings of DMV. We're episode 2, hopefully in the next about a week or two, maybe right before Thanksgiving or after. And we have another special guest, hopefully coming, another fellow traveler that actually interviewed me for their podcast to come on too, but that'll be around December. But y'all stay good, stay safe out here, and we'll talk to you later.